In the previous lesson, you have reviewed the rights guaranteed in the International Bill of Rights and your own national constitution. This lesson will cover the meaning and scope of rights guaranteed in the International Bill of Rights. While doing so, we will examine the fundamental characteristics of rights and categories of rights. Rights have some fundamental characteristics, such as they are universal, inherent, indivisible, and interdependent. Let's go through them. Human rights are universal. All human beings across different cultural and religious traditions have them. They are anchored in the ethic of common humanity that recognizes that all individuals are equal in their dignity and rights. Human rights are inherent to the very nature of human beings. These rights enable a person to live with human dignity, and because they are inherent and not given as gifts by the government or any such authority, they are inalienable. They cannot be taken away arbitrarily. All rights are indivisible and interdependent. They are linked to each other. It may not be possible to enjoy one right without another. The principle of equality and non-discrimination gives the normative content to the characteristics that we just discussed: universal, inherent, indivisible, and interdependent. The principle of equality and non-discrimination is at the core of all rights. Let's discuss this principle in some depth. Article 1 of the UDHR states, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. Article 2 of the UDHR, ICCPR, and ICACR lay down that all persons are entitled to their human rights without discrimination of any kind pertaining to race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. These articles clearly establish that no person can be denied the enjoyment of human rights because of discrimination. Let's look at the meaning of the term discrimination. Articles 1 of the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women and the International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination provide a definition of the term discrimination. Based on these provisions, the elements of what constitutes discrimination can be identified as difference in treatment or action based on prohibited grounds that has the purpose or effect of nullifying or impairing the recognition, enjoyment, or exercise of rights on an equal footing with others. Let's look at the elements in the definition closely. Prohibited grounds: race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status are recognized as prohibited grounds. If there is any difference in treatment or action based on these grounds, then such difference in treatment or action may be construed as discrimination if other elements discussed here are also satisfied. Difference in treatment or action. Difference in treatment may be understood as distinctions, exclusions, or restrictions. Distinction refers to difference in treatment, such as when a person accessing health services is treated differently from others on the basis of one or more of the prohibited grounds. Exclusion refers to being left out from opportunities or benefits, such as when a person is denied admission into an educational institution because of race or religious identity. Restriction refers to limitations placed on the exercise or enjoyment of rights, such as when a woman is restricted from applying to certain categories of work just because of her sex. Purpose or effect. The difference in treatment has an intention to discriminate, or it inadvertently results in discrimination. Direct discrimination refers to an action or omission that has the purpose of discriminating on the basis of prohibited grounds. An example may be laws relating to inheritance, which differentiate between men and women while determining shares in the course of distribution of property. Indirect discrimination refers to actions or omissions which have the effect of discriminating, even if there is no intention to do so. An action or omission may appear to be neutral or even beneficial, but its effect or impact can be discriminatory because of the social, cultural, and religious norms that exist in society. For example, a law may give equal opportunities to men and women to access loans if they can provide collateral such as immovable property or land. On the face of it, the legal condition is neutral. But in reality, because of social, cultural, and religious norms prevalent in society, women, because of their gender, may not have ownership over immovable property or land. In such a case, a woman may not be able to access the loans. Results. In order to constitute discrimination, the difference in treatment must result in impairment or nullification of the recognition, enjoyment, or exercise of human rights and fundamental freedoms. Thus, an act is discriminatory when it impacts human rights and fundamental freedoms by either impairing or nullifying its recognition, or impairing or nullifying its enjoyment, or impairing or nullifying its exercise. As we said in the beginning, the right to equality and non-discrimination is recognized in the International Bill of Rights, and thus no person can be discriminated against in the enjoyment of any of the rights guaranteed in the UDHR, ICCPR, and ICSCR. CEDAW specifically focuses on elimination of all forms of discrimination against women, and ICERD focuses on elimination of all forms of racial discrimination. We will look into the state obligations corresponding to the right to equality and non-discrimination in the next lesson.